Welcome to Live from the Compound via Tape Delay. I am your host, Ted Brogan. Let's get started with the NFL, I think, today. That was a source of some irritation for me this weekend, as it usually is, with me being a 49ers fan, of course. The 49ers were playing the hated Dallas Cowboys. I didn't get to actually see the game. The lovely Mrs. Brogan, she keeps an apple orchard here on the spacious Brogan estate, so I needed to go out and clean some apples up off of the ground, as the wind blows and they fall and they collect under the trees. I get to go out and clean that mess up. So I'm more than happy to do it. Mrs. Brogan is allergic to bees, of course. So the lovely Mrs. Brogan, I should say, is of course allergic to bees. So it falls on me to get out there and get that cleaned up from time to time, and I'm happy to do it. So I spent a good chunk of Sunday clearing the grounds of the spacious Brogan estates, cleaning up these apples, various branches, brush, things of this nature. A little bit like George Bush cleaning his ranch. A very similar, type situation. So I was out, working in the yard. That's how I keep the incredible physique that I have is this, weekend chores, outdoor work from time to time. I knew that the 49ers were playing the Cowboys, as I said. I had high hopes. Going into this year, the 49ers had opened up with a big win against the now Los Angeles Rams. It gave me some hope going into this year that maybe this year wasn't going to be a complete and total bust like last year was. I was sorely mistaken. I at least was hoping at this point. I know that they hadn't looked good in the past couple of weeks, but I was hoping for a win against the hated Cowboys so I could give my brother-in-law a little of the business. The thing that I was looking forward to was Tony Romo is out, replaced by Dak Prescott, a rookie. Their wide receiver Bryant, he was out. So I thought this is a game where the Cowboys are decimated by injuries. It's in San Francisco. My God, could we possibly get a win? So I was looking forward to the game. I pulled up the scores on my cell phone while I was out, working on the spacious Brogan Estates, and at that point it was 14-0 San Francisco. So I at that point was thinking it was all but over. I finished my work. I came inside to get supper going, and pulled up the scores, and was disappointed to find out that, of course, the 49ers had lost 24-17. Of course they did. That's pretty much the story of this season, and it's going to be the story for the next several seasons. It's been the story for the last previous couple of seasons. It's ridiculous. It's getting harder and harder to cheer for this team. So I'm a diehard, though. I'm going to live and die with the 49ers. I'll never abandon them. But my God, it's ridiculous at this point how bad they are. I guess at this point we're hoping for a high draft pick. So that was the NFL this week. Up next, I kind of want to talk about the movie Deadpool. I've had it on DVD for a while now. I haven't gotten around to watching it, but it was on HBO this weekend, so I sat down and I watched the movie. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to go through any kind of review. I know that gets tedious after a while. If you've heard one review, you've heard them all. So I won't bore you with that. I just wanted to say about the movie itself. I really thought Ryan Reynolds fit the Deadpool character about as well as anybody has fit a superhero character in recent memory, with the possible exception of maybe Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. He fit that character extremely well. Of course, which we already knew, with Wolverine Origins. he's already played the character once, so I think we kind of knew that going in, so that wasn't much of a surprise. The R rating, I was worried that they might get a little bit stupid and start doing stuff just because of the R rating, but they really didn't. Everything that was in there I thought was done, really well. They didn't push anything too far just because of the R rating. Everything that was in there fit really well, I thought. Also, a couple of characters in there. This Negasonic Teenage Warhead. I'd never heard of that character before, played by Brianna Hildebrand. At first I wasn't real sure about what was going on with that, but then towards, especially later at the kind of the conclusion of the movie, her interactions with Deadpool, I thought she did a fantastic job as an interesting character. I do hope we see her again. I'm sure we'll see Colossus again. At some point, either with the X-Men or with the Deadpool sequels that'll be coming out. The reason that I bring up the movie, I didn't want to do any type of review of it as much as I wanted to just talk about action figures now with this movie. I'm probably going to have to go out and find a Deadpool. I've tried to stay away from the X-Men characters in my collection just because I don't know that much about the lesser known X-Men characters, outside of, Beast, Wolverine, Cyclops. There's so many members of the X-Men, so many villains. I don't know enough about them to collect them, so I've kind of shied away from that. I did pick up a Wolverine. I had to have Wolverine in the collection. He's such an iconic character. I needed to have him for the collection. I wouldn't mind adding a Professor X as well, but now Deadpool, I think I'm going to have to pick up a Deadpool. They've made a handful of really good 1/18th scale Deadpool figures. I believe there was one as part of the Wolverine Origins movie. There was one that was part of that line. I believe also Marvel Universe made a couple, one in the gray uniform and then one in the classic red. So I'm going to end up picking up one of them at some point and adding those to the collection. And that sound means that we're just about out of time. A couple of things that I should bring up quick before we end this is I finished up F is for Family by the great Bill Burr on Netflix. It's a great show. Laura Dern is also on that. David Koechner is also there. It's a great show. Check it out. Billy Burr also has the Monday Morning Podcast. You can find that on YouTube. I should also mention Miller Lite has been named the official beer of the Goodfellas Bar. Of course, the Goodfellas Bar is located in the Compound Club here on the spacious grounds of the Brogan Estates. Also, Captain Morgan Cannon Blast has also been added to the bar. Please feel free to tweet me any suggestions that you may have about what fine products you'd like to see carried in the Goodfellas Bar. We, of course, spare no expense and need to serve a wide variety of waters, soft drinks, beers, wines, spirits. Whatever suggestions you have, feel free to tweet those to me. And finally, an RWE update. RWE superstar and member of the Maroon Shirt Squad, Tad Orange, was arrested in Valdosta, Georgia after a house show. He's been charged with 3 counts of ass hattery and 1 count of aggravated drunken handshaking. He was quoted by the local paper as saying, "Just treat me like a man." This has been live from the compound via tape delay. I'm your host, Ted Brogan. Have a good week.